Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. Prodigy Bowlers Tour welcomes you to episode 141, the 2023 Kansas City Open March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament. Today, 4 doubles teams will compete in a series of handicap matches in which the winners will keep advancing as long as they keep winning. In our opening match, the number 4 qualifiers, Russ Wilson and his son Adam Wilson of Lawrence, Kansas, will meet our number 3 qualifiers, Butch Jenkins and Walter Davis Jr., both of Kansas City, Missouri. The winners of that match will advance to face our 2 seeds, Darren Hall of Kansas City, Missouri, and Dallas Hart of Grandview, Missouri. And the winners of that match will bowl for the championship today against our tournament leaders, Megan Deere of Excelsior Springs, Missouri, and Lillian Fuhr of Plattsburgh, Missouri. One of these doubles teams will claim the title in Division 5 today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. From Olathe, Kansas, where we were 2 weeks ago for the March Points Tournament, it's about a 40-minute drive to Belton, Missouri, and Aaron's Family Fun Center, one of the Kansas City area's premier bowling destinations, with 32 beautiful lanes and even a VIP room with 6 lanes of its own. Aaron's also has one of the best youth bowling programs in the area, as several of the Prodigy kids you've seen before on the show bowl league here. The day started out quietly enough for tournament organizers, but it wasn't long before the place was packed with bowlers, as this tournament was sold out soon after spots became available, and there was a long waiting list to get in. It's the second of 2 adult youth doubles tournaments on the KCO calendar, and as you may recall from the December event, each player on the team, the adult and the youth bowler, each bowl a complete game. It's not alternate shot or Scotch doubles. Total pins between the 2 bowlers determines their score for the game, plus their handicap, which for the youth in Division 5 is 90% of the difference between their average and 139, the top of the division. And for the adults, their handicap is 90% of the difference between their average and 220. At the KCO Youth Adult Doubles Tournaments, each player bowls 5 games of qualifying. They bowl these games in one block, either in the A squad in the morning or the B squad in the afternoon. And here's how qualifying finished in Division 5. As you can see, a total of 13 doubles teams bowled today. Shane Schonifer, who won the Division 5 points tournament earlier this month, just missed the stepladder. He and his partner finished as the alternates in 5th place. The only youth bowler in this field who has appeared on Prodigy before is our tournament leader, Lily Fuhr, who was on our Division 5 show in September. So, without further ado, let's get this party started with match 1 in our stepladder finals. The 4 seeds, Adam Wilson and his dad, Russ, taking on the team of Walter Davis Jr. and his adult partner, Butch Jenkins, the 3 seeds. The teams have already exchanged handshakes, and now we will get straight to the action. Butch Jenkins leading off. And that opening ball creeps just slightly high, and he leaves the 6-10. And now Russ Wilson, a 239 average. And the messenger almost gets the 10 pin, but it stubbornly refuses to go, so he'll have a spare to contend with. Butch going for his spare. Oh, and he chops the 6 off the 10. So as you can see, we've taken his 9 pins he got in the first frame and added it to his 18 pins of handicap, giving him 27 in the first. That's how we roll when we've got handicap in play. 3 of our 4 players have handicap. All the kids today will have handicap. The adults are handicapped a little differently. They go 90% of the difference between their average and 220. Russ's average is above 220, so he's getting nothing. And now our first look at Walter Davis Jr. And that 4-step approach, good enough for a strike in the first frame. Now apparently something is not quite right back in the back, so Russ waits to shoot his 10-pin. He may be waiting for a ball return. But they've apparently shut off both lanes while they work on it back in the back. So we wait. I can tell you that the action to our left on lanes 5 and 6 is Division 3. The action to our right on lanes 9 and 10 is Division 4. And we'll fill you in on how their stepladder finals played out when we get to the end of the show. And I don't know if the weight had anything to do with it. I wouldn't think Russ Wilson misses many single pin spares with a 239 average, but like calling timeout on a field goal kicker at the end of the game, Russ whiffs the 10 and begins with an open. Here's Adam Wilson, 9 years old. And I think his dad's been coaching him up a little bit. This little guy wants to be a PBA bowler when he grows up. And I'm not going to be the one to tell him he can't do it. I think he can. There's a spare to start. And now Russ will try to wipe that first frame out of his memory bank and start fresh. And that's how you start fresh, with a ripper. Butch will have much the same plan in mind as he moves to the right lane. And he pounds the pocket, slaps out the 10-pin, gets a solid strike of his own. Now Adam on the left. And the little guy blows the 5-pin. I love it. Take another look at this. Little two-hander. Playing over about the 4th arrow, out to about 6 or 7 at the break point. I don't know what weight ball he's throwing. That got a little deflection going on there, but it was still enough to shred the rack. I would bet he's probably throwing no more than 10 or 11 pounds, maybe 12. Walter gets that thing way out to the right, and because of the slower speed, it reads the lane and comes charging back and gets them to all cave in on a nosedive. So we have our first double of the day. A trip 4 for Butch, and he follows suit with a double of his own. Watch this. Watch the 2-pin go to the left wall and slip between the 4 and 7 and trip them both out. That's how it's done. Boy, that is just picture perfect. You want to see how it's done? Watch Russ Wilson. I talk about this all the time. Look how close the ball is to his ankle. It's not only not below his head, it's inside of his head to the left. That's even better. You get even more leverage. And those pins had nowhere to go but down. Well, this time, Walter's ball hooks past the head pin, leaves the 1-3. While Adam registers a double of his own, and now all four players have put a double on the board. How about that? I should mention that the Division V kids are 139 averages and below. A spare for Walter, and his team remains 35 pins ahead. That number at the bottom of your screen indicates the lead, and the direction the arrow is pointing points to the side of the score sheet where the leaders are. Through the nose for Butch, and a 7 count. So they surrender 3 pins in count with that. The lead is now 32. As Russ, working on a double, will try to make it a turkey. Oh, there goes that messenger. That's the one he was looking for in the first frame. And a good cover of a tricky spare by Butch in the 4th frame. Adam catching a light shaker. And there's a turkey to match his dad. How about that? And all of a sudden, Butch and Walter have seen their lead shrink to just 12 pins. Walter, this would be a good time to put one right in the pocket. Now that came up a little bit high, so you'll have the 3, 6, 10. I'm not sure if he yet has developed the technique to throw a straight ball at spares. But he would do well to move to the far left side of the lane. Well, that one hooks by, so it's an open frame in the 4th for Walter Davis Jr. And with that, the lead passes to Russ and Adam. So Butch and Walter have squandered their handicap. If they're going to win this match, they'll have to do it on their own. Little thin. Butch with the 2-4 left to go. That one was just a pinch high for Russ, nearly the 4-9. The 4 goes out, he has just the 9. And a spare for Butch. That is a smooth game he has built. Russ works for Jayhawk Bowling in Lawrence, Kansas. Now, those of you who are in the bowling business will know of Jayhawk Bowling. But if you own a ball spinner or if you've bought a drill press, chances are pretty good you bought it from Jayhawk. Now, both players leave difficult spares here. Walter with a particularly unusual one, the 1-3-5-6. really just shoot this as you would a strike. Put it right in the 1-3 pocket. Oh, he nearly got it on the Brooklyn side as Adam converts the bucket, the 2-4-5-8. And he stays clean through the first 5 frames. Meanwhile, that open frame by Walter increases the Wilsons' lead to 12 as we are halfway through the match. Boom! Solid strike by Butch Jenkins. His 5 games of qualifying were 207, 233, 185, 193, and 177. Back in the pocket, Russ with another strike. And now Walter Davis trying to stop the bleeding after 2 opens. Oh, look out, a runaway train. That one goes way to the left, and he clips off 3. Here's Adam. Close. Just a little high, leaves the 4. All right, Walter, let's see you paste one right in the pocket here. Well, that Brooklyn hit nearly got the job done, but he leaves one, so 9 out. As Adam covers the 4-pin. This kid obviously has gotten some serious instruction, and I have a pretty good idea where that probably came from. His dad, Russ Wilson, has a high series of 864. That's some serious bowling right there. And I bet he did it with a whole lot of shots like that. Good ball by Butch. No reward. Leaves the ring in 10. Oh! Looked like the 9 was going to go, but something stood it back up, so little Adam Wilson is going to have his hands full with the 4-9 split. Looks like the pin setter knocked the 9 over. That will have to be reset. A spare for Butch Jenkins. He bowls here at Aaron's Family Fun Center and also over at Premier in Raytown. And before Adam shoots his split, we'll have Walter Davis up here on lane 7 going for a strike. He gives it a good hard flip at the bottom of the swing, and they all go down. How about that? And he's pretty happy about making the 4-9, as he should be. We'll look at that one again. Look at this little guy. He knows it's close. Just a matter of will it be there? Yes! Kind of reminds me of a young Hunter Moffett, I must say. Ten-pin. And the streak is snapped at 2. Oh, man, that is not what Butch was hoping for there. The 4-6-10. Not much you can do with that. Just take the 2 on the right, throw it hard, hope that something bounces out. After missing a 10-pin in the first frame, Russ makes doubly sure of that one And he covers it. And Butch takes his medicine, an open frame, and that grows the Wilsons' lead to 43. Oh, that ball snapped a little harder on the back end than Adam was expecting, and he leaves a treacherous little spare, the 3-9. That sleeper in the back that you sometimes don't see sits farther back behind the 3-pin than it appears from your vantage point on the approach. You got to be very careful with this. Hit it head on. Just like that. Man, that is textbook. A good shot by Adam. And Walter slides the 6-pin about 4 inches off spot, but it refuses to fall. That'll make chopping the 6-10 a little harder. That's the strike that Butch has been looking for. And Walter just misses the 10 as the ball slips off into the moat. And it's another open frame, and we're getting down to the end. The Wilsons with a commanding 55-pin lead. And Butch and Walter are going to have to make something happen in a big hurry here if they want to try to salvage a win. And Russ is going to make it harder for him with shots like that. Almost got a Brooklyn, but leaves the 6. As Adam moves over to the right lane, he is clean through 8 frames. Oh, look out. Well, I may have just jinxed him by saying that, but again, the pin setter has dropped a pin somehow. There's a spare for Walter. And they're going to have to reset the 7-pin to go with all the others for Adam Wilson. He'll be shooting at a full rack. This is for a spare to keep his clean game going. How about it? Watch this. After throwing it in the gutter on his first ball, look at that ball right below his head, and he's coming straight up the back of the ball. He's not going around the side of the ball. He's got his hand behind the ball. Obviously, he is well coached. And I'd say that he's got a natural knack for this game. Look at this. The light shaker. Trouble. And the 2-pin won't quite go. So Butch and Walter are still mathematically in this. Here's a spare. And a spare for Russ as well. But I have a feeling that we may be getting down to the moment when the shutout ball is thrown. Butch finishes with a strike and a 198 with his handicap pins. That's a 180 scratch. But I believe Russ can put it away here with good count. And that'll do it. So it's the team of Russ and Adam Wilson who'll be moving on. Another Brooklyn hit by Walter Davis. He's come close a few times to getting some strikes with that high Brooklyn hit, but not quite. He started with a double, got another strike in the 7th, with just a few too many open frames along the way. This young fellow finished 15th when we were at Olathe in the early part of March for the March Points Tournament. His only other appearance at the KCO. So here he is in the stepladder finals in just his 2nd KCO. So that bodes well for his future. He bowls here at Aaron's Family Fun Center. Boom! Well, I'm being told that Adam Wilson has never shot a 200 game in his life. He's getting 7 pins handicap, so he's got to get to 207 for a scratch 200 game. And that 9-pin count right there will do it. If he misses this, he'll finish with a 207 handicap. That's a 200 scratch. It'll be his high game of all time. Make that a 201 scratch for his all-time high game and his first ever 200-plus game. I think most kids will tell you they remember the first time they shot 200. It was a big, big deal for them. But Adam got his on video right here on Prodigy. And he and his dad will move on to face Darren Hall and Dallas Hart next. This young man, Walter Davis Jr., has a few things he can work on to improve his game, and I expect when we see him next at the KCO, he'll be well on his way. He picked a good partner as Butch Jenkins bowled a solid game. Really, the only one mistake he made came in the first frame when he chopped the 6 off the 10. But the Wilson and Wilson team was not to be denied. Russ Wilson, the one with the 239 league average, had to go some just to post a higher score than his 9-year-old son, Adam, who went off and bowled his first ever 200-plus game, a 201 scratch, good for a 208 handicap game. So Russ and Adam Wilson moved past the opening match and now find themselves in match 2 against the team of Darren Hall and Dallas Hart. Russ Wilson, no stranger to tournament bowling. He's won the USBC Open with his team. He's won the Bowler's Journal tournament. And he was on a winning team that won the Collegiate Nationals at Wichita State. Make no mistake, this guy can roll the rock. And he begins with a light shaker for a strike. Now Darren Hall. Comes in a little heavy on the head pin. Leaves the 6, 9, 10. And now, Adam Wilson. Well, it's understandable if he might be a little wrung out after all the adrenaline rush that came from bowling his first 200 game. That one leaves the 1, 2, 4. Now Darren for his spare. And a solid conversion of the 6, 9, 10. And Adam makes short work of the 1, 2, 4. He hasn't had an open frame yet today, at least not in the stepladder finals. Now Dallas Hart. Whoa. That thing took off on him at the end. Dallas starts out like he's going to bowl two-handed. He's got both hands on the ball as it starts to go into the downswing. But then he lets the left hand off of it and he palms it the rest of the way. A little unusual. Well, he might be well advised to make up his mind and either go one-handed and put his thumb in the ball or just switch to two-handed. But that's certainly not the start he'd hoped for. 3 out in the first frame. And you see we've added those 3 pins into his handicap, 19, giving him 22 in the first frame. We'll do the same thing with all 4 of our players here. We just add the handicap in right from the outset, so you don't have to keep track of any handicap pins. They're already added in. Yikes. This split has only been made once on Prodigy. It was by Gilbert Kang in 2018. This is very rarely made. But he got it! What a shot! But before we see Russ Wilson attempt to convert it, we'll see Darren Hall go for a strike. And that one creeps just a little high, and he leaves the 4-7. Whoa, too much 3-pin. So that is an open frame with just 7 out. So Russ and Adam fall 40 behind Darren and Dallas. And Darren takes care of the 4-7. All right, a little challenge here for Adam Wilson. The baby split, the 3-10, as Dallas Hart moves over to the left lane. And now he's got his hands full with a big split as Adam opens for the first time in the championship round, leaving the 10-pin standing out of the 3-10. Here's how you make the 3-6-7-10. Put the ball on the right side of the 3. Oh, he didn't miss it by much, but an open frame for Dallas Hart. And he is still looking for his first mark after 2 frames. So we will turn things back over to the adults. And Russ will move back to the left lane. Darren to the right. The team of Darren Hall and Dallas Hart holding a 41-pin advantage right now. There's a strike by Russ Wilson. He may need to string a few of those. Once again, a high hit by Darren Hall, getting 8, leaving the 6-10. And Adam goes through the nose once again. A 6-9-10 for him this time. It's a spare for Darren Hall. So he's gone spare, spare, spare to start. And another open for Adam. So I don't know if that 201 scratch game in his opening match took some energy out of him, but he looks like he's running out of gas. We'll see. There's a Brooklyn hit for Dallas Hart, leaves the 5. He's 15 years old, only been bowling about a year. His high game thus far is a 172. So he's got his best years of bowling ahead of him. But he finished 4th in this event last year. That's why you use the big ball. All right, it's not how, it's how many. And that's a spare. All right, Darren looking for his first strike of the match. He'd love to put one up right now. And he just labeled the pocket. Now Russ would like to match him here. Oh, ringing 10. Man, that was a good ball. Denied. As Dallas moves to the left lane. Well, he's going to have a tricky one here. The 3-9, that 9 behind the 3 makes it easy to miss. You got to hit squarely on the face of the 3. Oh my, that's 2 times Russ has missed the 10 today. And Dallas leaves that sleeper 9 standing. So another open. As all eyes are on little Adam Wilson. He got that one out far enough this time. Nearly got the shaker to go, leaves the 8. This little guy says he started bowling at the age of 1. And his first league, he was 4. His high game, well, he just bowled it last game. Runs by the 8 pin. You know, you wouldn't think just a couple of games would wear a little guy out like that. These kids are so full of energy, but he bowled 5 games of qualifying earlier in the day. And for little kids, that's a lot of bowling in one day. There's a light shaker. Russ gets it to go. But the lead is now 61 for the team of Hall and Hart. Brooklyn, 9 pin. Nearly a strike. And now Adam needs to get back on it. And he does with a light shaker of his own. And he gives it a little fist pump. I don't think he's running out of energy. I think he could go like this for another few hours. Spare for Darren Hall, who calls himself a weekend warrior on the bowling lanes. And now his youth partner, Dallas Hart, who bowls league right here at Aaron's Family Fun Center. And that's why he's bowled this event the last 2 years. And that time he gets the trip 6. So his first strike of the match. And that keeps the heat on the Wilsons. The winner of this match will bowl for the championship against Megan Deere and Lily Fuhr. Wow, look at that one go through the pins like a hot knife through butter. Man, he really revved that one up. Oh, the stone 9. That'll teach you to hit the pocket. Adam just a pinch high, leaving the 4. This little guy has bowled almost every KCO this season. He finished 2nd in February at Crown Lanes. Had a couple of top fives last season on the KCO when he was 8. Oh, but he hooks by. And then Adam hooks by the 4-pin. So they exchange opens. And so the lead remains at 51 for Hall and Hart. But now Dallas can grow that lead back to 61 if he can catch a strike here to put a double up on the board. Oh, and he gets it. It looked like he threw that one a little extra hard to get it to hold line. It did. And he got just enough of the head pin to shake him up. How about that? So we're through 6 frames. And Darren Hall and Dallas Hart hold a 61-pin lead. Well, not the first time we've seen the 6-9-10 today. And not the first time we've seen Russ Wilson throw a powerful strike. That's a turkey for him, and he's going to need a few more if he wants to get his team back in this. Oh, there's an open frame. Darren leaves the 6 and 10 standing just as Adam Wilson throws his first ball in the gutter on the left lane. Now, he did this once before in the last match and made the spare. He needs to do that here to keep his team in the match. But he goes high, leaves the 6-10, just as Dallas Hart leaves the 3-6 on the right lane. And he's got a bit of a straight ball to throw at those right side spares. But they both open. The lead is 37 with just 3 frames left. What kind of a comeback can Russ Wilson stage? He's got a turkey up. I think he knows he's got to go off the sheet. Look out. That one got away from Darren. The 1-2-8. Russ will take extra care on every shot the rest of the way. You can be sure of that. Boom. Another solid strike as he exchanges a low 5 with young Adam. And that is an excellent spare by Darren Hall. Oh, my goodness. Well, with the entry angle that ball was coming in from, I would never have guessed he'd leave a 5-10, even with a light ball. But that's exactly what he's got, the 5-10. There's the 5 without its troublesome brother, the 10-pin. Well, Adam gets the one he had to get. Leaves the 10, so it's an open frame. The lead remains 38. Assuming Dallas converts this spare. But he does not. So that'll make this a slightly closer match. Now just 27 pins separating them. 2 frames to go. It's getting closer. Oh! Nearly got them all to go, but Darren will shoot the 10-pin. as Russ goes for a 5th strike in a row. And he gets it. Snapped out that 10-pin like a boss. And Darren converts the 10-pin. The lead now down to just 16 pins. Just a little thin for Adam. Leaves the 2-4-5. As Dallas moves over to the right lane. Goes high, breaks up the split, leaves just the 6-pin. Adam really needs to make this spare. And he gets it. Now, Dallas needs to get this spare. Oh, and he just does. So this match is down to just 16 pins. At one point, just 4 frames ago, the lead was 61. And now as the two teams move to the 10th frame, the match is just 16 pins. And Russ, working on strikes, can cut it to 6 pins with another strike here in the 10th. Goodness gracious. Boy, that was a much-needed strike. Darren puts the pressure on. Oh, there's another one by Russ. And the lead is now just 6 pins. Now, Darren really wants to put a strike on top of the one he just threw here. But it goes through the nose. He gets 8. The fact that he left a split is kind of unimportant here. It's more a matter of count at this point. But Russ can take the lead for his team if he strikes here. No, it goes high. And he leaves the 3-6. Darren going for the split. Probably would have been just as well taking the count, but it may not matter because it's going to come down to the two kids. A spare by Russ, that'll give him a 220. Darren with a 200. So what these two teams need is a good performance in the 10th frame by the kids. Adam is going to need to mark here at least. Oh no! The 4-7-10, what a time for that. Well, he made the 4-9 earlier in the first match. If he can hit this one just like he hit that one, he might just make this. The 7-pin fell over, so have to have the pin setter reset the 4-7-10. Not going to get it. In fact, he sends the 4 around the 7. So that is a 121. So Dallas Hart is going to need to get to 142 to win the match for his team. He can do it if he gets 5 pins on this ball. That's a winner. That is a winning ball right there. And the team of Darren Hall and Dallas Hart will advance to the championship match. But boy, what a furious comeback put on by Russ. I'll tell you what, Russ Wilson threw a scare into him with that six-bagger. If he'd gotten the seventh one, there's no telling what would have happened. But as it is, all we can say is it was a close call, and close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And we're not playing either one of them today. We're playing bowling. And it's Darren Hall and Dallas Hart who have one more game to play. They win match 2. And now we're just one match away from seeing who's going to sign the coveted trophy pin today. Who will it be? Will it be Darren Hall and Dallas Hart? Or will it be Megan Deere and Lillian Fuhr? You'll find out next. That last match looked like it was going to be a runaway, as the team of Darren Hall and Dallas Hart found themselves leading by as much as 61 pins as late as the 6th frame. But on the strength of Russ Wilson's six-bagger, Russ and Adam Wilson made it a match, shaving the lead to less than a mark. But in the end, both Darren Hall and Dallas Hart made the critical marks in the 9th and 10th frames to fend off the Wilsons' furious comeback and claim victory. So, it's Darren Hall and Dallas Hart who advance to the championship match, where they'll now face our tournament leaders, Megan Deere and Lillian Fuhr. It's a battle of the sexes, the boys against the girls. And the boys better bring it, because they're spotting the girls a handicap differential of a whopping 88 pins. Megan Deere alone is getting 112 pins of handicap. So Darren and Dallas are going to be trying to overcome a huge deficit right from the start. Well, there's a crossover for Darren Hall, and he's kind of lucky to get away with 8. But he leaves the 5-9. And this is one you got to be a little careful with. It is easily chopped. But he takes care of it. So a spare to begin, and now we get our first look at Megan Deere. Well, before the match started, Megan turned around and looked at us and said, "I'm not very good at bowling." And, well, you can see with 112 handicap, she's got some improvement left to add to her game. There's 9 for Dallas Hart to start. Let's see if Megan Deere can start with a spare. Well, it is not to be this time. There's a spare by Dallas Hart, so his team clean in the first frame. And now Lily with her opening toss. Now, you may remember from our September show, the first show of this bowling season, we met Lily for the first time. She qualified third for that stepladder, finished fourth, but she broke her arm in a trampoline accident and had 14 screws and 2 plates put in her right arm. It's a miracle that she's bowling at all. And all I can say is she must love it, because she not only bowls with all that hardware in her arm, she's like the bionic girl, but she doesn't put her fingers in the ball. No fingers in the ball, no thumb in the ball. I don't know how you bowl like that, but she does. A thin hit leaves the 2 as Megan moves to the right lane. Well, she got 1. And as you can see, there's a lot of basic fundamentals that she has yet to learn. Darren moves to cover this single pin spare. And he gets it. Megan and Lily bowled in this event back in December, the adult youth, when it was over at Olathe Lanes East. And although they didn't make the stepladder finals, they're back again. They finished 7th in that event. Just missed the stepladder. One, 2, 4, 8 for Lily, as Dallas goes for that pesky 3-9 once again. We've seen this a couple times today. Nobody's made it yet. Well, I take that back. I believe Adam Wilson made it in the first game. I tell you what, I got to hand it to her. To do that with no fingers in the ball and all that hardware in her arm, I think anytime she marks, it's a victory. Both Megan and Lily bowl league over at Tiger Bowl in Excelsior Springs, where we see some of the players on Prodigy, like Josh Oldham, some others. Cooper Farmer bowls over there. A lot of good young bowlers in that house. And there's a strike by Darren Hall as they just chip away a little at a time. That big 88-pin handicap differential that they started the game, got to be saying to themselves, how are we going to overcome 88 pins? Well, you just chip away. And when your opponents can't mark, makes it a little easier. There's a 6 count for Dallas. And he will shoot at the 1, 2, 3, 5. And Lily gets a strike. And she's pretty happy about it, I'd say. There's a spare by Dallas Hart. And now Darren Hall, who started bowling at the age of 29, later than a lot of... waiting for the bowlers on the adjacent pairs of lanes to clear the way before he goes. Now he's set. He could really use a strike here. It would cut the lead down to 42. But it gets away from Darren, and he leaves the 1-2-4. Now Megan Deere looking for her first mark of the match. Maybe. How about it? And she's got to be happy with that one. And that keeps the pressure on Darren and Dallas. Look out. Oh, that was in dangerous territory, nearly a chop, but he gets the spare as Lily goes through the nose and leaves the 6-9-10. Well, when you got this much handicap and players that could open in almost any frame, there's no telling what's going to happen. There's a strike. Dallas trips the 4 as Lily lets one get away into the moat. And there's an open frame, and the lead is now 36. It began at 88. Darren Hall, whose high game is 281, his high series 680. There's a solid strike. That's got to make him feel pretty good. Strikes the last 2 times he was up on the right lane. Now if he can just figure out the left lane, he'll be in business. Megan filled out the bio sheet. Usually the kids who fill it out say their parents are the ones that got them started bowling. Megan said her kids got her started bowling. There's a 5 count. And there's the 1-3-8. These two spares very similar. The 1-3-8. And Megan also has the 6 and 10 in addition to. But this is a spare you really want to shoot from the left side of the lane with a straight ball if you can do it. Megan's got the ball to make this spare. Dallas has got to straighten it out. That's why you don't want to throw a hook ball at the 1-3-8. The ball will deflect to the left of the 8 pin. See if Megan can do it coming from the left side of the lane. This will have a chance. Nope. It fades to the right, and she misses the 2 pins that she would have liked for the ball to have hit, the 1 and the 8. So that's 8 out. But the lead is still 34 pins. So far, Darren Hall and Dallas Hart haven't really strung any strikes together to close down on Lily and Megan's lead. They've been catching up on the strength of Lily and Megan opening for them. Lily leaves an easy spare as her hand goes up, and as we turn around, we see that everybody in the bowling center has their right hand up. This is a custom that I was first exposed to when I lived in Georgia. In the adult leagues, if you leave the 5 pin, everybody's hand goes up. They're going to expect you to buy a round of drinks for everyone with their hand up if you miss it. But Lily is having none of it. And I don't think they'd be letting her buy drinks anyway. Maybe Cokes or Dr. Peppers or something. But tell you what, every mark the girls can get puts the heat on Darren and Dallas. As Darren a little confused about what lane he's up on. He's up on the left lane. And you can tell he's feeling a bit of the pressure because he's really letting those bowlers on the adjacent pair clear the way. He's not messing around with 1 lane courtesy. He's looking for 1 pair courtesy. Throw it like that, and you can justify it. There is an important strike. That cuts the lead to 24. man. Well, that 4-pin got knocked over by the pin setter, so it'll have to be reset. She moved that 4-pin. Look, Dallas moved the 10-pin. The pin decks must be a little slippery. The 10-pin on the left lane did not get knocked over by the pin setter, but the machine did knock over the 4-pin for Megan, so she will have to shoot it. And I'll tell you what, I've seen Dallas make a few spares on the right side. This young man, not the most accomplished bowler we've ever had on Prodigy, but he's got a good technique shooting at those right side spares. If he gets some lessons and kind of works on his game, he could get a little bit better, I do believe. He's obviously been listening to somebody to pick up that technique. And now we're having a little difficulty getting the pin setter to, there we go, to respot the 4-pin on lane 8. But I believe it is going to do it right now. I think Rodney's having to change the score on the overhead score machine. The score you see on your screen is correct with the handicap added in. We add in the handicaps in the very first frame. The bowling you see on our left is Division 3. The bowling on our right is Division 4. And we'll let you know how their step ladders played out when we get to the end of the show. How about a spare? How about a spare for Megan Deere in the 6th frame? And I'll tell you what, if they can just stay clean the rest of the way, they're going to be very hard to beat. But so far, the only double we've seen in this match, Darren is working on it right now. Well, Lily with a 5 count on her spare, that's not going to help. But if she can cover the spare, she can minimize the damage and maintain a 19-pin lead for her team. Boy, we talk about the importance of spares in bowling. You've heard me preach about it more times than you probably care to remember, and I know every coach in the world talks about it, but this is a great example of the importance of spares right here. Look at this. Oh! Just a little high on the head pin to carry out the 6, so it's an open frame, and now the girls' lead is down to just 8 pins, and Darren is working on a double. If he puts a strike up on the board right here in the 7th frame, he and Dallas will take the lead. This is the biggest shot of the day so far. Oh! Boy, he put it right where he wanted it. You see him shake his head like, what more do I have to do? Well, you have to make the 10-pin. That's what you have to do. Well, she gets 6 out of that. The 1-2-5-7 is not going to be the easiest spare to make, though. Darren's been pretty solid on his spares today. A conversion of the 10-pin, and he stays clean through 7 frames here. And that could be the difference in taking the lead. Let's see if... Oh, no! I thought Megan might get that, but that's an open, and that's going to hand the lead to Darren and Dallas, at least for the time being. Darren has that 3-9. How many times have we seen the 3-9 today? And once again, the pin setter knocks him over, so they'll have to reset it. Lily tries to get a piece of the head pin, but the ball hooks by. And she has the 1-3-6. If she can make it, well, there's no telling. It might be enough to get the lead back unless Dallas can make this 3-9. And he runs by it. So the door is open. But Lily misses the spare, so the lead passes back to Darren and Dallas. It's still close, though. 5 pins. Clearly, this is anybody's match. And now Darren trying to put another mark up on the board, put the pressure on. He gets the 2-4. All right, Megan Deere, her high game is 160. Gets 8, 6-10. Not the hardest spare to make, especially when you stand over on the left side of the lane like she likes to do. That's how we recommend you shoot those right side spares. Good conversion of the 2-4. The lead just 3 pins. Well, this is trouble. Into the channel, so that's going to grow the lead by Darren and Dallas to 15. But Dallas clips off just 1 pin. Doesn't lose any count because he wasn't on a spare. Similarly, Lily was not on a spare either, so she doesn't lose any count from that gutter ball. Again, the 7-pin fell over. She'll have to get that reset. But it's an open frame for Dallas, and that will tighten this match. If Lily can spare here, this is going to be anybody's ball game with just 2 frames left. The difference between a spare here and an open here is huge. Oh, not a double gutter. No, no, no. Now she loses count. So it goes from a 2-pin match to a 22-pin match. And ouch. And with just 2 frames left, I'd say the boys are in the driver's seat in this boys against the girls match. And Darren Hall puts a strike up in the foundation 9th, just in case. All right, Megan. Well, there's 8. 1-2 is all that's left. She can make that. Dallas giving it a little extra loft, a little extra speed, trying to get it to hold line. Goes through the nose, leaves the 6-9-10. Come on, Megan, you need to make this. How about it? There you go. There you go, and oh my goodness, that's not how you make the 6-9-10, Dallas. So that tightens the match. It's within a mark again. Lily, you need a mark right here, girl. She gives it lots of body English, but the pins are just not cooperating. The 1-2-5-9. You shoot this just like a strike. Put it right on the head pin, just to the right of center, like you'd put it in the pocket, on the 1-3 pocket. You can get it Brooklyn too, but not quite that far, Brooklyn. All right, 9 out. It's a 20-pin lead. We're in the 10th frame, and does anybody want to win this match? What a time for a split. A 4.79, throwing it from the left side of the lane. That's pretty unusual. Oh, Darren pulled that one left of left. And he leaves the 3, 5, 6, 10. Here's how you make the 4.79. Put the ball on the left side of the 4 pin. The ball will get the 7. You slide the 4 into the 9. Well, she got the hard one. And that's 8 out for a 2.17 with her handicap. And that is an important spare for Darren. He can win this match right here with 6 pins. 6 pins on this ball, and that will put it away. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And there's your champion team, Darren Hall and Dallas Hart. Dallas Hart, who had bowled in one of these KCOs before, this very same adult youth doubles tournament 1 year ago when the tournament was here at Aaron's Family Fun Center. And he finished 4th. And his second attempt, he wins it. And that's how you break up that 3-9. Not that it matters at this point. Well, Dallas listed on his bio sheet his best moment in bowling when he made his first strike. Well, I have a feeling that today might be his best moment in bowling. Winning the Kansas City Open March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Well, we'll watch Lily finish up in the 10th frame. Once again, we get that 1-3-8 combination that I always tell everybody, you're better off shooting this from the left side of the lane with a straight ball. There you go. You can make it that way. A mark in the 10th. That'll make her feel a little better. Lily's best finish of the season so far was 4th in September when she qualified 3rd in Olathe, finished 4th. She also finished 5th up in Leavenworth in February, but now she's got a 2nd to her credit. And that's nothing to sneeze at. So congratulations to all our participants, but especially to our winners, Darren Hall and Dallas Hart. They've won the KCO Adult Youth Doubles Tournament, and we'll visit with them next. Never has the importance of making your spares played such a pivotal role in the outcome of a match. Darren and Dallas overcame a handicap differential of 88 pins, throwing just 1 double between them the whole match. That's because Megan and Lily had 13 open frames. If they could have made just 4 of those spares, they would have won. So the lesson here is, when you go to bowl open play at the bowling alley, don't just bowl for fun. That's what I call play bowling. Actually spend some time working on your spares. Megan would benefit from finding a coach and taking a few lessons. If she worked on just a few basic fundamentals, she could improve her average quite a bit. And Lily shows remarkable determination to bowl following her trampoline accident in which she sustained an arm injury. But as long as she continues bowling without putting her fingers in the ball, she's going to find it hard to improve her scores much. This game is hard enough with your fingers in the ball. I can't even imagine bowling without using my fingers. But none of that takes away from how Darren Hall and Dallas Hart bowled today. They did what they had to do, and now they are champions at the Kansas City Open. And you know what that means? They get to sign the coveted trophy pin. Look, we have winners in Division 5. It's Dallas Hart and Darren Hall.
Hello.
And the question is, how did you do it?
Listening to him.
Oh, you're laying it all on him?
Hey, we did this together. I gave a few pointers here and there, but he did the rest of it. You know.
So you're his dad's
friend.
Mm-hmm. So do you have anything to do with getting this kid started bowling?
No, all his dad.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how old are you again?
15.
15, and you've been bowling for how long?
2 years.
2 years. And you bowl here. You bowl league here?
Yeah.
Well, how about that? You bowled in one other KCO, and it was here last year. And we weren't doing Prodigy Bowlers Tour with the KCO last year, so you're not familiar with this tradition. We've been doing this for about 6.5 years, and now, by winning on the show, you get to sign the coveted trophy pin, and so do you. And Dallas, you are now eligible to bowl in the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. The winner of that tournament will win the pin, and maybe we'll have something else for you too. You, sir, I'm afraid will not be eligible for the Tournament of Champions. That's only open to youth bowlers. Go ahead and sign it and put today's date on it. It's March 19th, 2023. And forevermore, from this day forward, people will have to call you a champion.
All right.
And that's pretty awesome. Darren, you sign it too.
Okay.
I have a feeling you've been to the winner's circle a time or two in your life.
In something or another.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So what did you think your chances were of winning when you started today?
Not at all.
But here you are. Just goes to show you just, like I always told my golf partners, I may give out, but I'll never give up. And you just hung in there, and there you are at the end. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Way to go. There are our winners in Division 5. As we mentioned during the show, the group bowling to our left on lanes 5 and 6 were Division 3, and here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the 4 seeds, Joshua Schonifer and his adult partner, Charlene Schonifer, defeated the 3 seeds, Peyton Tryon and his adult partner, Lance Tryon, by a score of 424 to 411. In Match 2, the 2 seeds, Caden Darling-Neer and his adult partner, Jeff Macon, ended the Schonifers' day 460 to 363. And in the championship match, Caden and Jeff put the finishing touches on the afternoon, capturing the title by defeating the tournament leaders, Hannah Hill and her adult partner, Virgil Williams, 417 to 349. That meant that Caden Darling-Neer captured the title in both of the KCO's March tournaments, the points tournament back on March 5th, and today in the adult youth doubles tournament. So congratulations to him. And the bowlers to our right on lanes 9 and 10 today, that was Division 4. And here's how their stepladder finals went. In the opening match, it was the 3 seeds, Grace Coleman and her adult partner Joshua Clem, who defeated the 4 seeds, Vincent Collins and his adult partner Edward Collins, by the score of 329 to 316. In Match 2, it was a nail-biter that came down to the final ball, as the 2 seeds, Emery Nestor and her adult partner Cody McCullough, fended off Grace Coleman and Joshua Clem 359 to 355. And in the championship match, the tournament leaders Curtis Mellum and his adult partner John Mellum held serve, defeating Emery and Cody 417 to 395 to claim top honors. So congratulations to them. Once again, the three winning teams on today's show: in Division 3, Caden Darling-Near and Jeff Macon; in Division 4, Curtis Mellum and John Mellum; and in Division 5, in the matches you watched today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, Dallas Hart and Darren Hall. On our next episode on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you'll see the action in Division 1 at the March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament from Aaron's Family Fun Center here in Belton. On April 2nd, we'll be in Leavenworth, Kansas at Crown Lanes for the 2023 Kansas City Open April Points Tournament, where once again, we'll be taping the stepladder finals in Division 1 and one other division. Look for those episodes to be released later in April. If you'd like to bowl in the Kansas City Open's April or May points tournaments, or you just want more information about the KCO, visit their website at www.kansascityopen.com. For more information about Prodigy Bowlers Tour, visit our website at www.prodigybowlerstour.com. Or join our Facebook group. From any page on Facebook, type into the search bar Prodigy Bowlers Tour to be taken to a page where you can submit a request to join the group. Just remember to answer the 3 screening questions. If you'd like to support the work that goes into producing Prodigy Bowlers Tour, consider becoming a Prodigy patron. Visit www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour for more information. For just $5 a month, you'll get early access to all our full-length episodes. And for just $10 a month, you'll get that, and you'll get your name in the show's closing credits as an executive producer, just like they do in Hollywood. So that's it for this edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour from Aaron's Family Fun Center in Belton, Missouri. Look for episode 142 in about a week. This is Coach Randy wishing you all the best on the lanes and off. Until next time, go get your bowl on.